So I interpreted a directing class at a college, and well, okay, I'm gonna go back just a tiny bit. So I had been like, I talked to directors. I was like, set up a meeting with me, figure out I want to tell you everything about it, and then they'd never get back to me, or they'd contact me a couple days before a show, say, okay, so you can come and see the show tonight, and then come back tomorrow and interpret it. And I was like, no, 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 no. That's not how this works. That's not even how regular theater interpreting works. We need at least a week, if not more, to get the script to figure out who's gonna do what. I can't, and I can't interpret something in a show that long by myself, especially if there's more than one character. It's like he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I was like, "If you had set up a meeting with me like I was trying to get you to do, you would know this." So it's and I don't bash on directors because I get it. It's, they have a lot going on all the time. There's so many shows and they're trying to figure things out, and it's taking a chance. But this college, this teacher said, "Oh, it would be really cool if you were on stage with the actor." And my boss was standing right there, and I started flipping out. I was like jumping up and down, and I was getting really excited, and he's like, "Oh, only if you want to." Like, he was misinterpreting my excitement. I don't really understand how you do that, but um, so my boss is like, "No, no, 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 you don't understand. This is exactly what she wants to do." So after the class was over, because I had to take my cue from the student because I was working, so it couldn't have been like he didn't want that. So I said, "Well, after class is over, I'd love to work with you on trying to make it happen." And so I sent him some videos of stuff that I'd seen done in Detroit and the one I'd been to and all of that stuff. And he was like, "No, I totally get how much work it would be." And he's like, "Oh, and I wouldn't have to direct them or anything." And I was like, "No, it's just like the costuming and maybe, talking to the actors." And so he wants to go through the school. He's like, "You've picked a really good college because we're all about innovation and trying new things. There's a script writing class, there's a directing class, so maybe we could get it in with the script writers and we could write one specifically that could utilize that, and then bring that into the directing, and then it's just like, and I would get paid to do this for the first time ever, which I was just assuming I'd have to volunteer until I got my, up and running and people saw it and thought that it was cool or whatever. So I'm trying not to count my eggs or whatever the saying is, count all your, now it sounds stupid, but I'm trying not to get overly excited before it happens because I've been devastated and disappointed about it before. But this is the first director who's ever like actually got it and was interested and really wanted to do it. So I thought that he wanted to talk to me and my boss in July. So I tried to start contacting him in like mid-July. Never got back to me. I was working a cosmetology class, so I came after class one day during the summer, and this woman's like, "Oh, it's interesting. He hasn't responded to your email, but yeah, he's not here. It's vacation or whatever." So he finally got back to me. My third email finally got back to me. And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm really, really busy. Why don't we try to talk again in September," which is very soon because I start the 29th of August at work again. So, um, yeah, so I'm hoping, my fingers are crossed, that it'll actually work. And I'm probably overly excited and I need to calm down. But I just feel like this is where it's supposed to happen the first time, even if it's just because he's thinking one act show, so it wouldn't be like a full show. But it's a stepping stone, it's a baby step, and it would be, I just, it would be perfect. It would be one of my dreams starting to come true. And, maybe then people would see it and I'd be able to get other professional people or contacts or something. Somehow it could evolve from there. But even if it just stayed there and got a little bit bigger and bigger, then that'd be great. Doesn't help that the side note is that I met the woman who is like well known. She is the theater interpreter in Orange County, and I met her and told her that I wanted to do this on a, kind of a big scale, and she basically told me that it could probably happen on a small scale, but it wouldn't happen on a big scale. And she didn't exactly tell me why, but I know, it's stuff I've thought about. Directors, you have to get directors on board. They're like the most important. And, that's why I feel like it needs to be done once. So I could be like, hey, look at this video, or hey, look at this, it's really, and look at the response for people. Maybe, ooh, that's an idea. Maybe after, if, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's what I do. So maybe after the first show, I could record some audience members' responses, maybe if I already know them. But I don't know. So that's everything that I'm trying to create for myself while I'm working at 3 different colleges as a sign language interpreter, and maybe looking for a side job as a consistent source of income, because typically I don't work during summers. I'm just trying to support myself here. So, but there's probably a lot more that I want to say, but now that I'm reaching a point where I'm slowing down in my talking about what I was talking about, shadow interpreting, I think this might be a good place to stop. And now somebody's calling me from Fullerton. So, see you next time. Bye.